All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful and kind of mysterious systems in your entire body. We're going to decode the endocrine system. It's this secret communication network that's always running in the background, pretty much influencing everything about how you feel every single day. So let's get right into it. Seriously, have you ever just felt like your body has a total mind of its own? You know what I mean. One day you're buzzing with energy, and the next you can barely drag yourself out of bed. Or maybe you're totally calm, and then boom, your mood just flips out of nowhere. Well, what if I told you that none of that is random, that there's actually a reason for it all? Maybe some of this sounds familiar, like those sudden weight changes that just don't make any sense, or feeling completely wiped out no matter how much you sleep. Or, being that one person in the room who's always freezing when everyone else is fine, or sweating when everyone else is comfortable. These aren't just quirks, they're signals. They are literally messages from a hidden system deep inside of you.
And yeah, the answer so often comes down to your body's secret messengers. We're talking about hormones. These things are tiny, but they are so powerful. They're the chemicals that basically orchestrate everything, how we feel, how our bodies work, and it's all directed by one amazing system.
And that system is the endocrine system. The easiest way to think about it, it's like your body's internal wireless network. Seriously. But instead of sending Wi-Fi signals, it sends out hormones. These little messengers get produced by a bunch of different glands, and then they're just sent straight into your bloodstream to deliver instructions to cells all over your body. They're controlling pretty much the whole shebang, from how you grow, to how you feel, to your mood.
Okay, so to really get how this all works, I think the best way is to look at some of the extremes. We're going to start with the big boss of the whole operation, the pituitary gland, and talk about one of its most powerful tools, growth hormone.
So this pituitary gland, it's tiny. It's only about the size of a pea. But trust me, it's called the master gland for a very good reason. It just sits there, right at the base of your brain, and basically tells all the other glands what to do. It's bossing around your thyroid, your adrenal glands, you name it. It really is the central command for this entire wireless network we've been talking about.
And this right here, this shows you just how crucial balance is. Look at this. If the pituitary doesn't make enough growth hormone when you're a kid, it can lead to dwarfism. But if it makes too much of that exact same hormone, you get the opposite extreme, gigantism. We're talking people growing to be 7, even 8 feet tall. It's the same exact chemical messenger. It's all just a story of too much versus too little.
And that idea perfectly illustrates one of the main rules of the entire endocrine system. This whole too much or too little thing, it pretty much applies to every single hormone in your body. So let's look at a couple more quick examples just to see what I mean.
Okay, so first, let's take cortisol. You've probably heard of it. It's your stress hormone. Well, if you have way too much of it, you can get something called Cushing's disease, which leads to things like a moon face and weight gain right around your middle. But if you have too little, that's Addison's disease, and you're looking at muscle weakness and even your skin getting darker. Then there's ADH, the water hormone. Too much of that, and your body just holds on to water like a camel. But too little, and you get incredibly thirsty and can get seriously dehydrated. See, it's this constant, delicate balancing act.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about our last big example. And this is probably the one you've heard the most about. We're going to talk about the hormone that controls your body's entire energy supply. Yep, I'm talking about insulin.
So insulin comes from your pancreas, and its job is actually pretty simple, but it is absolutely critical. Just think of it like a key. Its whole purpose is to unlock your cells so that glucose, sugar, your body's main fuel, can get out of your blood and into your cells to be used for energy. Simple, right? But if you don't have that key, well, all that fuel just gets stuck outside.
And that is precisely what's going on in type 1 diabetes. For some reason, the pancreas just stops making the insulin key. So what happens? All that glucose gets locked out of the cells. It just builds up and up in the blood, which is what we call high blood sugar. But at the same time, your cells are literally starving for fuel. So, in a panic, the body starts burning fat for energy instead. The problem is, this creates these acidic byproducts called ketones, and that can lead to a really dangerous condition. For anyone who has to manage their blood sugar, learning to read these signals is everything. And there's this really simple saying that helps people remember the difference between low and high blood sugar. It goes, cold and clammy, need some candy. That's for when your sugar is too low. And hot and dry, sugar high. That's for when it's too high. It's just a super catchy, kind of brilliant way to remember what your body is trying to tell you.
Okay, so we've looked at all these extremes, right? Growth, stress, water, energy.
So after all that, what is the one big lesson here? What's the single secret to this whole incredibly complex system?
It really all just boils down to one simple word: balance. That's it. Not too much of anything, not too little. Every single gland, every hormone, every cell in your body is part of this amazing, intricate dance to keep everything in equilibrium, what scientists call homeostasis. How you feel, day in and day out, absolutely depends on keeping that delicate hormonal balance.
And that really brings us all back around to you. Your endocrine system is talking to you all the time. It's constantly sending you messages, and now that you know the basics, maybe you can start to be a better listener. You can tune in to what your body is actually trying to say. So I'll just leave you with this one question. What message is your body sending you today?